And your boy, Jet Black One Only, tuning in talking more about Jank Funnifyic. Spoilers for Jank Funnifyic Episode 2 if you did not watch it. If you do want to watch it, even though it's filmed in portrait, gross, feel free to check out the video on the channel. And if you don't want to watch a full, 2-hour video about Jank Funnifyic Episode 2, you can always watch the rehash video kind of thing where we recap video, where we talk about Jank Funnifyic Episode 2. Let's see. Right now I am signing in to my laptop, so I'll be able to get the live chat up on the screen. But in Episode 2 of Jank Funnifyic, a lot happened. And when I say a lot happened, I mean a lot happened. We went from Jared fighting against one enemy in Episode 1, Jared aka John Doe, aka Time Traveler, to Jared having to essentially try and overcome multiple threats at once, possibly connected, possibly not, and we're going to try to figure out what exactly is Jared facing. Yo Black, welcome to the stream. So, right now, my big question is, who is Vlad? Vlad is a character that was introduced near the end of Episode 2 of Jank Funnifyic, and essentially Vlad has these bat-like wings on his back. He has a vampire-like appearance, but his wings fold up and form a Venus flytrap that, if you get caught in it, you end up being sent to an alternate dimension. So, Vlad not only has that, but he also is capable of sneaking onto Jared's ship, which we already know has sensors and scanners. Yo, Jabatos Chappy, welcome to the screen. Welcome to the stream. Sorry, I just got out of a writer's block meeting, so I'm a little tongue-tied. And also, it's getting later at night. But anyways, where does the alternate dimension that Vlad's Venus flytrap thing go to? How did Vlad get on the ship? We kind of can suspect how Vlad knew where Time Traveler was due to the fact that Punky, Scavenger's character, had their subspace communicator on, which is how they're able to find him. Right now, what I want to know is everyone's thoughts on Jank Funnifyic Episode 2 and how that might lead into 3. I know that not everyone's currently online to discuss it, but I have a lot of ideas. Like with the Rainforest planet, where Jared is. He didn't just warp to the Rainforest planet. He ended up getting there by accident by going through a wormhole. But it's the Rainforest planet that he's on, in an alternate timeline, in another universe, because he went through a wormhole. Anything's possible. It could just be on the other side of the galaxy, it could be in the future, it could be back in time, so no one really knows where he is. Chapatos Chappy asked if someone was dead or if someone got murked. In Episode 2, it doesn't seem like anybody died. I don't believe anyone died in Episode 2. There is a whole thing about whether or not Jared killed a kid in Episode 2. Because for some reason, everyone remembers Jared's character, Time Traveler, kicking a kid into traffic, but there has so far been no evidence found. And even Jared's character, Time Traveler, remembers killing the kid, but he doesn't know why. He doesn't know the context for the action, and because there's no evidence yet, it seems like he's innocent, but then why does everyone have these memories? So that's another big thing for Episode 3. I think the real twist would be if Jared actually did it. If Jared actually kicked the kid into traffic. Because right now everyone's assuming that, there's some force that, made Jared do it, or maybe, it's a false memory and he didn't actually do it, or someone impersonated Jared. So Jabanto Chappy asked, who's Jared? Jared is the guy who plays Time Traveler in Jank Funnifyic. So if you're watching Jank Funnifyic, Time Traveler so far has been the main character. He's been the main player of each session so far. And he has the power to move objects through time and space, as well as to remove immunities from characters for one day. So if there's a character who's immune to being sent into the center of the sun, Jared can use his power to remove that character's immunity and then send them to the center of the sun. That's Jared's go-to move for like getting rid of opponents, right? So Time Traveler's pretty good. Japato Shappy asked, "This is fan fiction?" ? No. So essentially, Jank Funnifyic is an RPG that I made up, based off of an old RPG that I made up called Jank Heroes. So in this new continuity, a lot of the rules for how powers work changed, a lot of basic mechanics changed, and things from previous games seem to have not carried over to this one. And if they have been carried over to this one, they're like different and not exactly the same as how they previously were. So Jared, who played the original Jank Heroes, is experiencing a lot of the same things that he did before, but in really different lights, and he's facing new challenges that he hasn't had to overcome before, and it's really cool to see him try to get around that. Especially with this new system where your powers are limited. Jared only can use his powers 13 times a game session, so he's being more careful in how he uses his powers, and he tries to solve problems without using his abilities, and it's been really interesting. Right now what I'm talking about is, we've seen episode 1, we've seen episode 2, because each campaign session in the RPG is an episode. Plus it's something you can watch on YouTube, like it's legitimately an episode because it's a video. We've seen episode 1, we've seen episode 2, but episode 3, because episode 2 had so many unanswered questions, could go in so many different directions. I mean, right now, Punky, which is Scavenger's character, Time Traveler, who's Jared's character, Vlad, who's an NPC, and Kirby's character, Galactonite, are all on a rainforest planet where it seems like there's no humanoid life. There's only like these beasts and birds that are as smart or smarter than humans. Like their minimum intelligence is human intelligence. And at the center of this planet there's a shrine that has a mysterious energy that's very similar to the enchanted axe that Time Traveler got from Nerd Tanker's character. Yo, Wendy, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. Japatos Chappy asked, "So can I be Commander Chappy?" So if you're wondering if you would like to be a character in the game, then feel free to. So the way that we do Jank Heroes Funnifyic is that there's a video on YouTube, like on the channel that you can go to, where it'll tell you how you can make your own character. I think it's straight up called How to Create a Character in Jank Heroes Funnifyic. Wendy asked, "Did you miss me?" It's always great to have you, Wendy. I hope you're doing well. So essentially what you do is you go to the video called How to Create a Character in Jank Heroes Funnifyic. You watch that video, you follow the instructions in the video, you make your own character, and then you can play that character whenever we do a Jank Heroes campaign. I would prefer that you post your character sheet onto our Amino, if you're on it. If you want to learn how to join the nickabenson Nation Amino, then we have a full video about it. Wendy asked, "Can I sing a song about Wendy?" At the moment, I'm currently talking about Jank Heroes Funnifyic. I might do a song about Wendy in the future while doing like a rap video, because we do nickabenson raps on occasion, or just like a request video. I could probably hit that up. But for now, we're focusing on Jank Heroes Funnifyic. Chapatos Chappy's interested in making a character for the game. I'm talking about possible theories for where episode 3 could go, because episode 2 was really interesting. And if you haven't checked out Jank Heroes Funnifyic, you may not know what I'm talking about. If you check the channel, we have a video about how to make characters and everything like that. Wendy said sorry. Oh, no problem. No need to apologize. It's just not the video for a song at the moment. So, Japatos Chappy asked, "What is Amino?" He said there's a lot of Amino apps. So, essentially, when I go to the Google Play Store, right, there's like one Amino app. There's one app. You get Amino, the app, and then from there are a lot of communities that you can join. Let's see. Japatos Chappy said, "Wendy, he will sing to you in the future." And it's definitely possible. So, we have a nickabenson Nation Amino video, and the whole video tells you like how to join the Amino. I think in the description of that video there's a link. Wendy said, "Gotta go, bye." Catch you later, Wendy. It's good to have you. So, if you check out that video, I'll talk more about the nickabenson Nation Amino in that video. And I also include instructions on how you can join that Amino, because right now it's not in the main section of Amino communities. so you can't stumble upon it at the moment. You have to like go out of your way to find it. And we've set up a way to make that easier for you. Also, I'll be right back. One moment. Whoop, sorry about that. I had to clear my throat. Okay. So, in reference to episode 3 of Jank Heroes Funnifyic, there are a lot of loose ends, and one thing that we've been trying to figure out is how they all might connect together. How could all these story beats be connected into one mastermind character? And I think the current like thoughts of like everyone about who the mastermind could be are the jewels that so if you didn't watch episode 2, essentially there were a group of robots with laser guns in a jewelry store that were being stolen by the jewels in the jewelry store. So essentially the jewels in the jewelry store seemed to gain sentience, and they were taking control of the robots' bodies. But it made it look like the robots were robbing the jewelry store. So the jewels seemed to have like some evil intent. The robots appeared innocent, but they might be the masterminds behind everything. Then you have the newscaster, who puts like the $1 million bounty onto Jared's character, Time Traveler. So that newscaster could possibly be like the mastermind behind everything. I mean, he may not even actually be a newscaster, you know. Then we have the little boy that Jared supposedly killed. No one found the body for the little boy. It could be possible that the little boy is actually the mastermind. I might have already named Vlad as a mastermind, possibly, but I mean, it could be him. And then we don't know what's going to be in the shrine when Jared's character, Time Traveler, goes to the center of the rainforest planet. We also don't know who built the shrine in the middle of the rainforest planet, why the shrine has the same energy as the enchanted axe that like Nerd Tanker gave to Jared, why that axe is a one-of-a-kind axe, even though Nerd Tanker's character has an infinite armory of weapons. It just seems like there's so many unanswered questions, which is why I'm super hyped to get into the next Jank Heroes campaign. I want to know what happens next. I want to know what happens to our heroes, considering that we got stuck on a cliffhanger ending. I mean, it could really go any way. And with Jared getting his powers refreshed on the next cycle, I mean, it's going to be interesting. Yo, Scavenger, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. Right now, we're doing another video where we talk about Jank Heroes Funnifyic and what we think will happen in episode 3. So, Scavenger, having been a player, an actual character in the story of Jank Heroes Funnifyic, not only in episode 2, but also in episode 1, what are your thoughts about episode 3 of Jank Heroes Funnifyic? What do you think will happen? What do you think are some of the answers to some of these questions that have been presented in episode 2? Because I'm really excited to hear everyone's thoughts and see where everyone is in their head when it comes to how the story is developed so far. We have the mystery of whether or not Jared killed that child. We have the mystery of why is it that the jewels are able to take over the robots, and why is it that Jared's enchanted axe was able to attract the jewels to it. Scavenger said, I think that the crystals might be related to Tanker. So you think they're related to Nerd Tanker's character. Why? Now, I can kind of see where you're coming from, right? Because Time Traveler got his axe from Nerd Tanker, and the crystals attracted themselves to the axe. Scavenger said that he also believes that the shrine is also connected to Nerd Tanker. And I mean, this is definitely a very interesting way for the story to go. Nerd Tanker on the Amino app, right, said that he comes from a family line of heroes. So he's like the most recent generation of a whole family of heroes. And maybe the enchanted axe was a weapon that was passed down throughout his family line. And maybe the shrine was built by like one of Nerd Tanker's ancestors in the distant past. Or maybe not built by the ancestor, but maybe the ancestor went to the shrine, right? Like on one of their adventures, and found the axe and then brought it back to Earth, to Springdale. Or maybe it got back to Earth and eventually found its way to Springdale, to Nerd Tanker. So it could be possible that through Nerd Tanker's family line, there's a deeper origin to this enchanted axe that connects back to the shrine, that connects back to these jewels. Because it also could be possible that, like, the jewels are from the shrine. Scavenger said maybe, like Black Panther, where it is all connected by the special or royal family. Do you feel like Nerd Tanker's superhero family lineage could have some, like, magical connections? Or possibly even royal connections? Because that would be kind of interesting. Also, the idea of setting him up in some kind of Black Panther way would be cool. Chapatos Chapi said, yeah. I definitely think that that's, like, a dope idea. What do you think is behind these, like, jewels and these crystals? Why is it that they can control robots? And why do you think they're attracted to the axe? Scavenger said, I think it might have royal knight connections. Interesting. Like, it's a lineage of knights, but now that we're in, like, this age of superheroes, they're all seen as heroes, like, that are beyond just normal man. I could see that. Nerd Tanker's lore really sets up for a lot of, like, backstory building based things. And even Scavenger's lore, as his character Punky, sets up for a lot of, like, interesting, like, story based things. Because Punky, based off of the lore that you were telling us earlier, came from essentially a group of gremlins. Like, there was, like, a gremlin, like, society or pack. And you separated yourself from them to go to Springdale. That implies that there are, like, a bunch of other gremlins out there, and that we could have the possibility of seeing more gremlins. You also mentioned that gremlins are, like, mythical creatures, which could also bring out the idea that gremlins have been around for a significant amount of time. And we could start seeing other gremlins, like, appear in the story, even. Now, we did another video where we talked about theories for Jank Hero's Funnifyic, episode 3. And one of the theories was that maybe all this is happening because there's some trickster character behind the scenes that's, like, causing everything to go down. And I think Scavenger brought up the idea of maybe it could be a gremlin. Like, maybe there's some gremlin that has powers in a similar way that Punky's character has powers, that's essentially pranking Jared. Just pulling a big prank on Jared. Just for, like, the hell of it. Just because that's what gremlins like to do. And I feel like that would be somewhat interesting, but I feel like it would need more motivation. You know, I know that gremlins will do pranks just to do pranks, but why prank specifically Time Traveler's character? But I do like the idea of connecting it to, like, the one character that didn't reappear from episode 1, that being Nerd Tankers. Having it, like, all tie back into him, I think, is really interesting. And I feel like we definitely could see something about that. Scavenger, because they went through a wormhole, they being, like, the whole crew that's currently on the Rainforest planet, do you think that they're still in the same dimension? Do you think they're still in the same timeline, in the same universe? Or do you think it's possible that this planet exists outside of the normal cosmic scope of the story of Jank Hero's Funnifyic? Because it's definitely possible, considering the fact that they went through a wormhole. And if so, if they are displaced in time, what do you think they'll encounter? Do you think they might find the origins of the axe, not just by finding a shrine that has, like, writings on the wall with, like, hieroglyphics and art, but actually see the origin of the axe firsthand because they're, like, on this planet? Because that could be rather interesting. Scavenger said, I think it could be a pocket dimension in a jungle on Earth. So do you think they're still on Earth? And then Scavenger said, that just seems like a planet. It would be really interesting if Jarrett tried to warp away, and maybe one of the heroes trying to get the $1 million prize or whatever for capturing Jarrett's character Time Traveler created a, like, wormhole in his path, because maybe that's how the power works for them, in order to send Jared into a place where he could, like, better hunt him down. Like, essentially a hypothetical hunter character that's trying to hunt Jared in a habitat that is their own. Like, maybe their powers are all based around, like, hunting and tracking, but they have this pocket dimension where they bring their prey. I could see that, and that'd be really cool. And it could just so happen to have a shrine that has similar energy to the axe. Um, I know a lot of people feel that the shrine will have a lot of answers about the axe and about the jewels and everything, but what if the shrine just has something similar to those things, like another one-of-a-kind weapon similar to the axe, or maybe it'll have like a special crystal that's similar to the jewels, because they don't necessarily have to be connected any more than they have that similar energy, you know what I mean? So that could be really interesting. But I like the idea of having a possible hunter character that could be hunting down Jared, maybe for the $1 million prize. That would make a lot of sense for why the wormhole just suddenly appeared. Because you're right, that still hasn't been explained. Scavenger said, or a predator character that could be related to Tanker. I actually really dig that. So instead of a hunter character that's trying to hunt Jared for the $1 million, it could be like a weapons collector who's trying to get the enchanted axe because it's a one-of-a-kind. So essentially they sensed the axe, they sensed the axe's presence. Maybe like when Jared warped into their sector of space, this alien weapon collector suddenly registered on their machine's instruments the energy signature of the axe that they've been searching for. So they generated a wormhole to send Jared to them on the planet where they're at in order to try and take the weapon. Scavenger said, what if it was like a cousin or a sister or a brother that got kicked out of the family? So the idea being that it's someone directly related to Nerd Tanker who's been disgraced, no longer a member of the family line, but they're trying to build up their own armory. They're trying to maybe gain back the power that was lost to them, and then through that is trying to get the axe back, because that would be interesting. Chapatos Chappie asked if they could have a specific name. You can have any name you want in Jank Funnifyic. I recommend only having a first name and a last name for your normal character. Middle names are kind of unnecessary, and then having a superhero name, and then you'll mainly go by your superhero name or your screen name. Kirby posted something in the live chat, but for whatever reason, it's no longer showing up. There it is. Kirby said, I think the world is going to die in a fiery blaze. Are you referring to the rainforest planet? And if so, why? Scavenger said, or it could be a person who identifies as a Pop-Tart. You never know in Jank Funnifyic. The Pop-Tart thing sounds like it could generally be a thing. Kirby said, the jokes. The jokes are here. They definitely are. So, because it is a rainforest planet, it isn't too hard to believe that some shit's gonna go down and the whole planet go into a blaze. So it's possible. Yeah, it is weird. It seems like Kirby's message is there sometimes and it's not there other times. On my phone I can still see it, but on my computer, I can't see Kirby's message. But Kirby said that he thinks that the world's gonna go up in a fiery blaze. And then Kirby said apparently the world was the live chat. Ha, got him. But, Kirby, what are your theories for Jank Funnifyic Episode 3? And this isn't a question just to Kirby. This is an open question to everyone in the stream. What are your theories for Episode 3 of Jank Funnifyic? Because we have so many unanswered questions. Also, I would really like to know more about, Galactica Knight, Kirby's character. We have lore for Nerd Tanker. We have lore for Punky. But we don't really have lore for Time Traveler, for Jared's character, and we don't have lore really for Galactonite. Thank you. So, either on Amino, or in the live chat, or both, I would really love to hear more about Galactonite's backstory, where Galactonite comes from, because that may impact the story in some way. Scavenger said also, if Time Traveler has time powers, and space powers, he said then space powers would be dope for another character as balance. That's interesting, because Jared does believe that the wormhole that sucked him to the rainforest planet was not an accident. He believes that someone made that wormhole. So if someone made that wormhole, that implies that someone else does have, like, spatial manipulation powers. So Scavenger believes that there should be a character with spatial manipulation powers that can act as a balance for Time Traveler, and maybe that's what we've got a hint of in episode 2. Maybe we're seeing who Jared's big antagonist is going to be, and maybe that's the mastermind behind everything that happened in episode 2. I mean, it's definitely possible. But Scavenger has been putting out a lot of possible ideas for where episode 3 might go. And they've all been pretty interesting so far. I think the only joke one that he put out for real was the Pop-Tart thing. Scavenger said just how my rival, Middling, has the ability to turn mud into leather shoes. Why leather specifically? Kirby said, remember, it's Funnifyic. You right. Sometimes I fuck up and I say Funnifyic. Oh, wait, no. I think it is supposed to be Funnifyic. I think I messed up originally. Like, I think the first time I say it, I say Funnifyic. And then suddenly I started saying Funnifyic later, and I messed it up. I think the title might be right on this one, because I remember I once had to retroactively go back and fix it. But it's supposed to be funny, horrifying, and epic. So it's supposed to be like this. There might be 2 N's in it, but I'm not sure. Funnifyic? I'm trying to remember what goes right. Maybe it is funny. Because it's supposed to be Funnifyic. Because what I asked Jared to do originally is give me like 3 adjectives, and then I'll put them together kind of thing. So it's supposed to be Funnifyic, but for a while I started saying Funnifyic. It's just a shitty name, if I'm going to be honest. Like, I just gave it a name that's, like, kind of difficult. Scavenger said, because leather shoes match the color of mud. But you can have black leather shoes, Scavenger. I guess those are dyed, so I don't know. Well, that's interesting. I have been thinking about antagonist characters for everyone. Like, what your arch enemy would be, and how you would face off against them, and how you would be able to best them to where they wouldn't just be a straight cuck. And I know that we definitely have a lot of opportunities to see a lot of new characters in episode 3. I mean, we're on a whole other planet, so it'll be interesting. Scavenger said also leather shoes, so it looks like Piccolo shoes. I've never understood what Piccolo shoes are supposed to be made out of. Kirby said that his character story is heavily trading card game based. That's actually really cool. We still haven't seen Gerard play the Historian, which is his character, or Shadow Darkgale play his character. I said his name backwards. We haven't seen Mr. Hand play his character, Shadow Darkgale. So I wonder how the Historian and Shadow Darkgale would fit into the current story. I imagine due to the $1 million bounty on Jared's head that Shadow Darkgale might be trying to hunt down Jared. I'm not sure if the Historian would, because I believe one of his powers allows him to see the truth, so he may be able to see whether or not Jared is guilty or innocent, and based off of that, it would probably determine whether or not he would be able to, like, try and help Jared or hurt Jared. But the story so far, I'm really digging it. We're only like 2 episodes in. Scavenger said Jared might be dead. What is your theory on that, Scavenger, for why Jared might be dead? Excuse me. Scavenger said if he doesn't have plot armor. So Scavenger asked, even during episode 2, if Jared had plot armor. But in this game, no one has plot armor. That's just not a thing. If Jared dies, his character dies. And that's just how it goes. And I mean, he is being hunted. There are plenty of people who are trying to get the $1 million that's on his head. Scavenger said, oh shit. Did you not know that? Did you not know that, like, characters just died? Then Scavenger said, awesome, with an exclamation point. Yeah, I mean, you guys could die at any time. It just depends on the circumstances. So far, Jared's been in his worst position of dying in the first episode. In the second episode, I mean, I guess plain white could have fucked him up. But it seemed like Jared had plenty of his health this session, where last session he got dropped to like 4 health. Like, he went through some shit. Scavenger said, I thought there was Bullshido plot armor. Nope. There's no plot armor. Mr. Hand can tell you that. In the old Jank Heroes, Mr. Hand lost 2 different characters. I think he only played 2 different characters. If he played 3, then I must have forgot about one of them. But Mr. Hand has played Jank Heroes multiple times and lost characters. Jared has lost a character before because his original character didn't have the duct tape powers. Kirby said I should probably give Jared and other players mask so they can be resistant to some of my grenades. That actually would make a lot of sense. Scavenger said nah, but his weed messed up plain white. I mean, plain white already got messed up when he turned invisible and the 2 Jareds jumped him. Speaking of which, there are 2 Jareds now, so that'll be interesting, like how the 2 Jareds work together. Due to how time travel works, he just kind of multiplied himself. And he's already used that to his advantage to fight plain white. Scavenger said 1 is fake. Well, I mean, Jared, like, made the Jareds by traveling back in time 5 seconds. Kirby said that if he gave everyone a mask, it would protect them from, like, the flashbang and, like, concussion grenades and stuff like that. Well, you would have to get those masks, which would be interesting. You could probably use your subspace communicators during one of the sessions to try and talk to, like, a hero merchant to see if you can, like, get gear for the crew. How much money does your character have, Kirby? That's actually a pretty solid question. Scavenger said, we need masks, so... Scavenger's right! Scavenger said that they all need masks so that they don't get messed up by his weed. That was legitimately a problem in, like, a previous episode. Kirby asked, what do I roll for money? I'm not entirely sure. Luckily, there is a video on the channel where you'll be able to see what to roll for each category on the character sheet. I just don't remember off the top of my head. I apologize for, like, not knowing. Kirby said it's a double positive. Yeah, you guys definitely need the mask. Even if the mask end up being expensive, you should probably still get them anyways. It's a solid investment. You might be able to find masks at Home Depot, where Nerd Tanker works, and Nerd Tanker might be able to give you guys a deal. Who knows? Excuse me, but that does sound like a solid must-do plan. Kirby even said it's a double positive. Scavenger says Punky has built a tolerance, so it only cuts his speed in half. You didn't even have to do that, but write that down. Write down that his speed gets cut in half. Because Punky's just fast. Punky's just really fast. I keep calling him Spunky by mistake. I keep adding an S. 10 miles per hour is still pretty good. Not gonna lie. On the rainforest planet, I wonder if Punky's gonna find, like, some weird strand of, like, interdimensional weed. Also, it would be interesting if at the shrine there was something that, like, wasn't for Jared. Like, if there was, like, a special grenade. Or what if the shrine was, like, an interdimensional gateway that led into Nerd Tanker's armory? Or, like, because the shrine could have, like, so many things behind it. We're just not aware. We just don't know what the shrine is for. Kirby said my walking speed is 2 miles per hour, so yeah, I'll need that. Kirby's like, I'm not trying to get smoked out and walk 1 mile per hour. Scavenger said, but Time Traveler kicked me from the ship right before meeting Vlad. Well, Scavenger, keep in mind that Jared in the next session is going to have all his, like, points back for power usage, so he could use one of his power usage points to pull you and Nerd Tanker onto the rainforest planet to help out. If need be. You know what I mean? Plus, I still think Vlad is really mysterious. I don't even know where his, like, extra pocket dimension flytrap thing goes to. But we just know that when Jared was there, he was on an island, and it seemed like he was surrounded by, like, blue lights, and that was it. Like, it seemed like he was the only one in that pocket dimension. So there's a lot of mystery behind that, like, where that's going to end up going. We also know that there were heroes that tried to follow behind the ship, so we don't know if any of the heroes will end up landing on the rainforest planet, and if you guys are going to have to fight for your lives to prevent them from taking Jared or not. Kirby said, okay, money is 2d20. Yeah, that makes sense. Scavenger said, otherwise Punky will just be making money at his pot shop or whatever. I thought you said Punky's brother ran the pot shop or whatever. Based on the first episode, it seemed like you were just selling randomly. Like, you weren't at the store. You were at fucking Home Depot. It seemed like you just wanted to just, like, sell them somehow. Kirby said he rolled a 9. Did you roll, like, a straight 9? Like, the sum of your 2 rolls is 9? So you only have, like, $9? Scavenger said that his brother and him run it together. That makes sense. Scavenger, how much money do you have? Kirby said the sum was 9. He has $9. Feels bad. Well, think about it like this, Kirby. If you turn in Time Traveler to the news, you'll get $1 million. So you'll have $1,009,009. Scavenger says he hasn't rolled for money yet. I'm surprised, because you had a practically full character sheet on Amino. So I'd be shocked if you haven't rolled for money yet. You should definitely check Amino before you do it. Kirby said if Plain White didn't screw it up everything, if Plain White didn't screw up everything, I'd be rich. Then he said, dang it, Plain White. Scavenger said, let me check. Okay, solid. I mean, Plain White was also just trying to stack that paper. I mean, Plain White and Time Traveler don't seem to have that close of a relationship. And he just knew that there was another hero that he'd be able to turn into the news. Not even to the police. Turn into the news. And he would get $1 million. Why wouldn't he do it? You know. What is his motivation to not hunt down Time Traveler? I feel like if Matt was here, right? If Matt was playing tonight, and we could get Jared here tonight, Matt and Jared have beef when it comes to old Jank heroes. So I think we would have a whole campaign where Shadow Darkgill tried to hunt down your boy Time Traveler and get the $1 million. Yo, Skinny D, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. Right now we're talking about Jank Heroes Funnifyic Episode 3, our theories for what will happen. So far, there are only episodes 1 and 2. If you haven't seen episodes 1 and 2, I highly recommend you go check them out. Thank you for smashing that like button. I truly appreciate it. If you don't want to sit through all of 2, we do have a recap video for 2, where Jared describes like everything that happened. And we also have another theory video about episode 3 as well. So if you want more theories than just what are presented here, you can definitely check that out there. So, Jank Heroes Funnifyic, I'm hype for episode 3. Most definitely. Skinny D said he's about to smoke. Smoking is actually what Punky's whole character is about, which is Scavenger's character. Kirby said, is this new planet similar to Pandora from Avatar? It doesn't seem like it. I only argue that because of the fact that, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, my brain went hella dead. Oh yeah, Avatar has humanoid beings on it, and it seems like this rainforest planet doesn't have humanoid beings. It just has beast and bird-like creatures that are as smart as humans. Scavenger says his phone is dead, so he can't check it, and he asked if we have the link for the nickabenson Nation. Kirby is on the nickabenson Nation Amino, so Kirby could check for you to see if you've already rolled for money. I would check, but I'm currently running the stream, so I don't think I can do both things. I don't think I can run the stream and check the Amino. Now I could stream the Amino, but I would have to close the YouTube streaming app, open the YouTube gaming streaming app, and then stream the nickabenson Nation Amino, and it would be a little bit you know what I mean? But I actually am really excited to see what will happen in the next campaign. Also, guys, don't forget that you guys are able to also do campaigns. Jared does not have to be the main person. So if we all get together and we decide that we want to do a Jank Heroes Funnifyic campaign, all we would have to do is we would all jump on the Amino. I would stream the Amino app, and while I was like hosting the stream and doing the whole like GM stuff, you guys in the chat for Jank Heroes Funnifyic would just like role play it out. You would just go through, and I don't have to be the DM for Jank Heroes Funnifyic. The way that we do that is you guys can create your own Jank Heroes Funnifyic chat room on the nickabenson Nation Amino, and then in that chat room you guys can, whoever like made it can just be the DM for that chat room. So you can pick what DM you want to play with. And that's about it. So I'm really excited for episode 3. I think episode 3 is going to have some really hype shit. Who all thinks Vlad is a bad guy? Scavenger said, I just went back to your Amino At video, and I did not roll for money. Okay, if that's the case, Scavenger, make sure that you roll for money. It's 2d20. So what I want to see in episode 3 is a twist. I want to see something that no one's expecting. I want to see something happen that, like, no one guessed, but it's still satisfying. It's something where everyone's like, oh shit, that was great. But, like, who saw that coming? You know what I mean? So I think that'll be, like, really nice if, like, a surprise like that can be delivered. And, I mean, there are plenty of possibilities. The main thing that everyone wants to know is, how does everything connect together? And if everything doesn't connect together, then why are all these random things happening? But there's definitely an explanation there, and I'm sure that there's, like, some thick story that we can get into, especially with connecting it to other characters' lore, and connecting it to, like, future events that might happen. There's just a lot of potential. I still think Vlad is probably my favorite new element of the story, other than the Rainforest planet. So really, I feel like the things that happen at the end really grab me. Kirby said, where are you guys posting your characters? Scavenger says he has $22. Congratulations, Scavenger. Make sure to add that to the Amino. So, Kirby, on the nickabenson Nation Amino, everyone can create wikis. You can create a wiki by hitting the little pencil button in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. Excuse me, at least I think it's in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. When you hit the pencil button, you hit the wiki button. It'll allow you to create your own wiki page, and then you can create a wiki article for whatever you want. So you can create a wiki article for your character Galactonite. You can create a wiki article that talks about, like, lore that's connected to Galactonite. You can make a wiki article about Springdale Card Shop, which is where Kirby has, like, his base set up and everything. So I think that'll be really cool. I would like to do more Jank Heroes Funnifyic videos that just talk about, like, characters and lore as well. So whenever you guys completely finish your character sheets on the Amino, hit up your boy, and I'll do a stream where I'll, like, stream your character sheet, and we can talk about, like, your character and what you can do and what all your abilities are. And I feel like that would be really fun. It helps build the world, and it helps people learn more about, like, who all is in the world, because we're just constantly expanding. Because we have so many characters playing alongside Jared, the world is already way bigger than it would have been if we just had Jared playing and you guys just as a casual audience. So I really appreciate audience involvement. I know in Jank Heroes Remix, Matt's version, audience involvement was less of a thing, but I feel like it was really important to bring you all in so that we could make the world bigger and more exciting and have more lore and more characters to explore as Jank Heroes Funnifyic continues to grow into a bigger and bigger thing. I'm also excited to start having campaigns that are not run by me. I'm excited to have campaigns where other people are the main character, and I'm excited to see what others will add to the universe, because there's really nothing that you can add to Jank Heroes Funnifyic that doesn't fit. In Springdale, there's literally one of everything. If you wanted to add an Assassin's Guild, essentially there's already a Springdale Assassin's Guild. You can just use that. If you wanted to add, like, a random time travel element, then there must be, like, a Springdale, like, time travel station. Like, the sky is the limit, and you can at any time introduce whatever you want into Springdale, and it's like, oh no, where'd this giant monster come from? Oh, well, there's the Springdale Giant Monster Mutation Lab. You know, like, you can just throw out whatever you want. So I really want to see what you guys have to offer in terms of your character lore, and I mean, that could be really impactful for episode 3. Scavenger was talking about how Nerd Tanker's family line could, like, spread into episode 3 and be, like, really important. Scavenger said, Punky grew up in a hidden city of Bullshido. He said he grew up being hated for his love Oh shit, he posted more and it like messed with me. He was hated for his love of weed. He was born with the ability to turn shoes into mud. Although prankish, he said all through prankish and harassment school, he was bullied by middling. Middling had the power to turn mud to shoes and to change memories. He would always turn mud back into regular shoes made of leather. I like how Scavenger is setting up his rival as someone who can manipulate memories. Because essentially by setting in his lore a character that can manipulate memories, it could be possible that the individual who's manipulating the memories of Springdale could be middling. But if so, why? One idea, right, for how middling could be the big bad of episode 3 is because Punky only recently became friends with Time Traveler. Middling could be trying to mess with Punky by messing with his friends. So Middling is pulling this big prank on Time Traveler in order to try and get back at Punky indirectly. I could see that being like an interesting setup. But that's just another possible theory for episode 3. You know what I mean? There are definitely different ways to go for it. Scavenger said, so I got tired of it and trained to spawn never-ending blunts, which is a weird way to like get back at him. And then he said, I gassed him and his girlfriend's family with weed smoke and then turned all of their shoes to mud. Make sure that you add your character lore, by the way, Scavenger, to the amino. That way we don't miss out on it. Scavenger said, I then ran away with my brother, who is a Mogwai. My brother is nicknamed Mogwai. Why is he nicknamed his race? He never hit puberty, so he didn't turn into a gremlin. He said that then him and his brother opened a weed shop, where they sell super blunts and infinity blunts. What's the difference between your super blunts and your infinity blunts, Scavenger? I thought they were like the same thing. Is one of them like a brand name thing? Scavenger said he then started hanging out at Home Depot because he learned a lot of veterans. He said veterans usually need weed to help with their PTSD. And then I eventually met Tanker and Jared. And then he said, cue the dramatic music. Da-na-na-na. You were hanging out at Home Depot to find veterans so that you could sell them weed? Why wouldn't you go to the Springdale, like, Veterans Hall or something? Like, I'm sure there's a specific place for exactly what you want to do. Because there is. Because it's Springdale. You also met Kirby in episode 1, I'm pretty sure. It would be interesting if somehow you didn't. If you didn't meet him in episode 1, you definitely met him in episode 2, when you went to pick him up. Plus, you guys probably already knew each other somewhat through subspace communication, because you're all heroes. But this is actually rather interesting. Scavenger said super blunts are worth $5 more than infinite blunts. Is it just a price difference, but they're like the same thing? Because it does sound like a brand thing. It's like, this one is brand, and this one is off-brand, but they're actually the same. Because that is also interesting in its own right. I would say either an hour into this stream, or like 50 or so minutes into the stream, I gotta like end it, because I know that Aiden needs directions to the Bevel Center, because Aiden, Mr. Hand, and I are going to try and eat breakfast at the Bevel Center tomorrow at 8 a.m. But if I do end up ending the stream sometime soon, don't worry. I'm interested in possibly doing a Battle Claw stream where I try and play through the entire game of Battle Claw, like beat it, and collect all the beasts. So it'll be a solid time investment. It'll be a let's play. We'll have the face cam up. We'll be able to talk. We can talk about Jank heroes. We can talk about Battle Claw. It'll be whatever. Kirby said entire game. Entire game. Like, so there's a Battle Claw game online. It's like a browser-based game. And in the Battle Claw game, you can collect different beasts. And there's like a shit ton of beasts. So I want to, and possibly one stream, beat the whole game and get all the beasts. I just don't know how long that'll take. I really don't. It definitely sounds like a lot to try and do. But we'll see if it's possible. You never know it's possible. Scavenger said Punky knows how to get the money faster. Scavenger said, let's get all of the beast. Kirby said, that sounds like hours. I know, without a doubt, I can beat the whole game in a small amount of time. And by that I mean play through, like, the entire story. But after you beat the story, you then can go back and try and collect all the beast in the game. Which is like a whole other thing, to try and collect all the beast. So that's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try to beat the game and collect the beast. I just don't know how long it'll take me to collect all the beast. Kirby said that sounds like hours. The YouTube maximum is 8 hours. So, as long as it doesn't take 8 hours, I should be good. But I doubt it'll take that long. I'm hoping it won't take that long. You know what I mean? So let's see. I guess I'm going to start getting that stream set up. But this stream isn't necessarily over. Like, I can still talk to you all while I do that. Kirby said, wouldn't that interfere with your roommate? You're right. On weekend days, he's a little more relaxed about when he wants to go to bed. So it really does depend on him. I'll try my best to finish before that would happen. Also, I do have to exercise before I go to bed. So I'm going to try and do it within 2 hours or more. Scavenger asked, is there a gremlin beast? I don't know. I've never gotten all the beast. So, there might be, as far as I'm aware. I also don't watch the Battle Claw cartoon. If I did, I could probably tell you, like, automatically, oh yeah, there's a gremlin beast, because I don't know. Kirby said today is Thursday, but tomorrow's Friday, Kirby. So if he doesn't have a lot to do on Friday, then he'll sleep in on Thursday night. But anyways, I probably will end the stream now, so that I can jump right into the Battle Claw stream. So stay tuned for Battle Claw. I'll just change up the stream and do a face cam stream. So stay tuned for that. So I'm going to end the stream. I'm going to go use the restroom. I'm going to tell Aiden where the Bevel Center is. And then we'll continue from there. So thank you all for watching. If you like this video, make sure to like this video. Favorite, comment, subscribe, and ding ding ding, ring that bell so you know for whenever you do these live streams. Make sure to stay tuned for the Battle Claw stream soon. And stay hype for Jank Hero's Funnifyic episode 3. This is your host, your friend, your boy, Jet Black, the one and only, logging out. Peace.